Yo, what is up, my AG Tactical Squad? How is everybody doing? I hope everybody's good. I'm over here with my potato, my ornament that actually has living, breathing parts. Check it out. It's squishy and it makes noises when you squeeze it. See? It's my little potato. It's our little side potato. But anyways, people, we're back with some Darrell Brooks. We out here, of course, chilling with the Brooks. Now he's cross-examining the guy who got examined by prosecution. He's the one who came out of the house. He's the one who was next to the vehicle. Basically, when Brooks broke down, destroyed his vehicle on a bunch of logs, tore out his somebody in the comments told me, tore off his muffler. Boom, bam, on the ground, not there no more. Destroy this shit. But anyways, we have him being cross-examined by Brooks. So this dude is really nervous, wishy-washy. Every answer starts with sort of and kinda, and sort of was over there, and and then gives like a 5-minute answer to a simple question. So I predict, I can be wrong. Hit me up in the comments what you guys feel about your predictions. But I predict that Homeboy might get a little bit rattled with Brooks right here. But let's find out. Let's see what happens.
So seeing the damage to the SUV that was parked in your driveway, it would be fair to say that the hood was pretty jacked up. Would that be fair to say?
Oh yeah, very fair.
Yeah. If we're talking about the red SUV,
The vehicle in your driveway.
there's multiple vehicles in my driveway.
The one that's specifically in your driveway. In 68, Exhibit 68.
We can put that up.
Where is it? 68.
We'll figure it out, Brody. I like how the state is actively helping Brooks while he's being such a dick to everybody else. He's like, let's pull that up for him real quick. He didn't even properly say he wanted to, admit. Well, he doesn't have to admit it into evidence, but he didn't even properly say he wanted to show an exhibit, all that. Bring it up on the prompter, please. He's like, what exhibit? 78? 86? What? They're just helping him go to his doom. I love how they're just helping him along. They're like, here, Brooks, take our hand. We'll help you go to jail. Don't worry. Step by step. This is how you do it.
You see on your screen, Mr. Brooks?
Yeah.
Is that the one you want him to talk about?
Yes.
Go
yes,
ahead.
yes.
68 is published.
And for the record, I do not identify by that name or consent to being called it. For the record. Can you see it on your screen?
Yeah, the image I can see two SUVs, our white SUV and then the red SUV that I mentioned is that's pretty well beat up.
It's fair to say that hood is pretty beat up.
You can say it, yeah.
And you said you observed the driver of that vehicle jump over the hood.
I wouldn't say necessarily.
He did say that. He said he jumped over the hood. I specifically remember he said that. But remember, he sort of jumped over to the hood. You know what I mean? So who knows? He left the vehicle. That's all we know out of this witness. But let's see what he says to that.
Really jump over the hood. Like I said, sort of jumping over the hood. You can say kind of leaving, kind of going, sort of. It's a little bit hard to explain, but not necessarily sliding over the hood. Sort of going in front of the vehicle. Sort of evading it.
He said sort of 7 times just now. I was counting it. I am not lying to you guys. Hit in the comments if somebody has nothing to do, tell me how many times this guy said sort of in his statements. I'm curious. Just if you're bored and you have nothing to do. Just for that random person who's just like, yeah, let me count this shit.
So what would you characterize as a jump?
As a jump, I guess you can
Sort of.
say definition-wise, jumping is just jumping up and down, but colloquially, I guess we can say jumping over the hood of the car. It could be
Oh, colloquially, I can't even say it. Oh, you're trying to drop in the big words. Okay.
sort of
Okay.
evading the vehicle, going away from it, staying close to it, but sort of still being able to move in a quick fashion.
So would it be safe to say evading the vehicle? Well, let me back up. What do you mean by evading? Would that be trying to distance themselves from the vehicle, or what would you define as evading?
Evading would be sort of trying to get away. So if you have a certain path, you can try to move to the side, step aside, kind of jump over it, I guess you can say. And from the image, we can see that the damage not only is attached to the vehicle, but there's some damage that's sort of spread out from the vehicle as well. So jumping over it, stepping to the side of it, sort of falls within that same definition of jumping over the car, sort of evading it.
So that falls with your definition of jumped over the hood with me. Would that be fair to say?
You can say.
Yeah, bro. Move on. Look at this stupid man in the background with his aviation glasses over here trying to be cool. Man, we need to do a video on him. I'm lacking. I'm lazy. I need to do a video on this guy, Jay Prince for president, right behind Brooks. Complete moron, idiot, blindly trying to support his race, not even at the cost of like supporting a complete moron asshole. Like, just saying.
You said at one point when observing this, you closed the blinds at one point.
Yeah, our blinds are they were closed. We really don't have like anything to look at apart from the building, apart from our driveway. So when I heard the vehicle, or when I heard, obviously I wasn't really sure if it was a vehicle. When I heard the big scratch, sort of a halt, a scratch. As I looked out, as I peeped over the blinds, I was able to see the vehicle, and I was able to see the person sort of evading, jumping over the car, going away from the car.
You said you heard a scratch. What would you define that as?
Obviously, not a scratch that you can say, maybe not like a chalkboard one, but sort of if you can hear maybe like metal or maybe something on concrete. I guess you can define it as a scrape. I guess you can say a little bit better.
Was it a loud crash?
You couldn't really say it was a crash. You can hear the sound that I heard. I defined it as a scratch, or I guess you can say a scrape, because
So
it was.
I'm sorry. You can continue.
Because it was more. It was a little bit longer than just kind of like a big crash and it ended. You can hear something scraping.
So like a scrape,
Yeah.
but not a loud like bang.
Not necessarily, no.
What does it even matter, bro? You knocked off your fucking muffler in their little garden sit down spot. There's nothing you can do that distances you from this. You know what I mean? Okay, so it wasn't a loud bang then. I got you. So what about the loud bang that made you come out the house? It didn't exist. Like, bro, what are we talking about, bro? Like, there's camera footage of this man in his damn hoodie running away from the car. See, the smarter thing to do probably would have been to take the hoodie off before he left the car. I don't know, just spitballing, but yeah, he wasn't too bright with this move. He went right behind the main street, destroys his car, and runs away. When I tell you this, not the smartest man in the world.
And how long would you estimate you were observing before you closed the blinds?
I would say I would give it like a good 6 seconds. I would say 5 seconds. Yeah, it wasn't that long because, like I mentioned, I thought it was somebody from downstairs. I wasn't really.
Like you mentioned, he has a master's degree in minding his own damn business. That's what it is. And I fuck with it. I feel it. But sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time, because I am so glad that they had all these witnesses against Brooks. They needed it, because something crazy would have happened if they didn't just have overwhelming evidence that it was him. But, the pictures started surfacing, the videos started surfacing, and it's a clear shot. And then you have witnesses. Like, it's a parade, guys. A lot of people come here. I didn't even realize Izzy is awake. What's up, Miss Potato? Miss Potatoes? Yeah, it's my Miss Potatoes right here.
I was more concerned about what happened in our driveway, just because I wasn't really sure what was going on.
Did anything get damaged in your driveway?
In our driveway, there was, I guess you can say, damage in however you may define it. Like that log that we can see in the image was sort of dragged into our driveway. There was oil left in our driveway. There was debris left in our driveway as well. And if you could sort of count our backyard was pretty well beat up. Sort of like you can see with our neighbor's backyard. The grass was sort of kind of beat up. Nobody really drives vehicles through that area, so it's pretty well kept.
So it's more like oil, logs, pieces of wood, that sort of thing.
Yeah, things were out of place from when we usually look at our backyard, or how it was that morning.
You stated that they came from your neighbor's yard. Would that be fair to say?
Correct.
Do you know what they used those logs for?
That they were sort of placed around. They have a few decorations around their yard. They have a fireplace. They have some seating areas. Those logs were sort of just there to sort of sit down, because they're little stumpy logs. They had some sort of, as you can see from the image, they're sort of put together by some metal band. So they're not really just there for use, but more they were just kind of put there for them to sit around.
So pretty much just, if they're out there in the yard, they may use them to sit on, some of that nature.
Correct, yeah.
You recall how many logs were out there?
Not necessarily.
Probably like 3, 4.
I can say maybe 4 or 3. I knew they were there.
I said 3, 4, and he said 4 or 3. I love it.
But I couldn't really tell you the exact number. But I have a general idea of what's in their yard.
And you stated at some point, you and friends or family member, I'm not sure which one you said, but y'all kind of gathered around the vehicle at some point?
Yeah. When I was the first one to head on down, because I was the first one to see sort of the vehicle. When I went out, I tried contacting my neighbors from downstairs. They tried investigating, like, if anybody had a red car, a red SUV, or anything, and he came back to me and said no. And I told him that there's a vehicle in our driveway, and so.
Think about it. This shit hasn't even circulated the news yet. This is ground zero. Nobody knows about no red SUV, no Darrell Brooks. He's just a bum who lives with his mom so far, Nobody knows this dude. And all of a sudden, this red SUV turns out to be the biggest story in, like, probably Waukesha history in a minute. I don't know what's going on in Waukesha. Y'all let me know. I know there's a few of you guys out there, but it was a big deal. It was a super big deal.
Everybody came out. Everybody was sort of looking at the vehicle, and everybody was pretty confused because nobody recognized it as theirs or anybody they knew.
So it was more.
If somebody parked the car in my property, I'm calling the police ASAP. I'm like, oh really? And it's messed up, and it's like steaming, and it's like freshly fucked up. Police ASAP. I'm not playing around with you. I'm not playing.
It was more of a, let's go see what he's talking about and figure out if it belongs to anyone type of thing.
That was the main purpose. We were trying to figure out what was going on because we never recognized the vehicle. We've never seen it before, or I've never seen it before. And as soon as I described it to them, they've never seen it before. And they have quite a few people around that visit them, or they had quite a few people that used to visit them a lot. And even then, they couldn't recognize the vehicle.
So what did you guys do from that point after coming out and kind of all collectively observing the vehicle? What did you do from that point?
As soon as that happened, not that long away, we contacted the police because we were concerned of.
That's what they should have been there.
Sort of the vehicle as to why it was left there, or who left the vehicle there, and so when we started seeing people leaving or heading down from Maple Avenue away from downtown Waukesha, we started kind of maybe speculating that it was probably involved in because everybody knew that there was a parade going on, and we started maybe recollecting that maybe it was part of the parade or maybe something happened, especially because when we were looking at people leaving the parade, some of them looked scared, some of them were kind of walking faster than usual, some running. We were a little bit concerned. We were just trying to figure out what was going on.
So it'd be fair to say at that point it was just confusion, no knowledge of anything happening at that point.
Since we weren't at the parade, no. At that moment, we just saw a vehicle in our driveway, and we were trying to figure out what was going on.
Man, if I saw a random vehicle in my driveway, a guy say shit, run away, and I see people kind of jogging opposite direction of the parade, I feel like I would put two and two together. I don't know if I know what's happening, but I'd be on my P's and Q's. To be honest, I'd go back inside with my people, be like, hey, let's go inside, call the police, like, you know what I mean? Because this looks crazy.
Do you recall what you were doing right when you looked out the blinds? Like, what were you doing leading up to hearing the scrape and then looking out the blinds?
Like I said, since I was, when I explained first when I heard the vehicle in the first questioning, I mentioned that I was just kind of sitting down. We have a chair, or not a chair, but we have kind of like a recliner couch, and I was just kind of having a regular afternoon. And since I'm right by the window, as soon as I heard something, I was able to try to investigate what was that noise, or what that noise was.
And at the point that you called law enforcement, do you recall how long before law enforcement came to the scene?
I personally didn't call law enforcement. Like I said, our neighbors called law enforcement. So I couldn't really say an exact time, but they were there fairly quickly. And as soon as they arrived, we were just told to get inside, back in the building.
I'm sorry, can you clear the exhibit? I forgot it was.
It happens.
I forgot it was
It's late.
Do you recall who took the photographs?
The photographs, no.
Were they part of the collective group that all kind of met up to figure out what was going on with the vehicle?
Nobody was actually taking photographs during that time. They were the neighbors downstairs were sort of, what's it called? They were just kind of inside the building, and as soon as I left the building, we were just kind of looking at it, and we were trying to figure out what was going on. At the moment, we were just trying to see if we can get help because we weren't really sure what was going on. So
the photographs that you saw on the exhibits today, was this your first time seeing those photographs?
The photographs specifically, yes, but the vehicle and the whole scenery, no.
No, just the photographs. Was what you saw today, was that your first time seeing those photographs?
These photographs?
Yes.
No.
So you've seen them before today?
Like I said, I was able to see sort of the what's it called? The whole situation, and I was able to sort of, be aware of what was going on.
I'm asking specifically about the exhibits, the photos. Had you seen those before today?
Before today, yes.
And do you recall who showed them to you?
It was mostly just detectives trying to figure out what was going on, sort of that line of questioning that I went through.
And you did state you don't know who took the photographs. Do you recall if the law enforcement that came to the scene took the photos?
When we were asked to go back inside, yeah, when they were trying to investigate.
You know, they took a gang of photos. That's crazy. But I think his original direction, what he was trying to do, he was trying to say, if you don't even know who took those pictures, do you? Like, it would have been perfect for him if it was like one of his friends who took the picture. And then he was like, oh, it was law enforcement, huh? Well, do you know the name of law enforcement, bro? That's not going to do anything. That, like, literally, that's not going to do anything. The pictures were taken. Like, they are what they are. They're not doctored. They're the original pictures, like point blank period.
What was going on? There was investigators taking photographs and people trying to figure out what was going on.
So to the best of your knowledge, you do know who took the photographs?
Not personally, no. There was people taking photographs, but...
So multiple officers?
Yes.
And that night of the incident when the vehicle was found and the law enforcement officers were taking the photos, did you see the photos at that time?
No.
Would it be fair to say that you were subpoenaed to come and testify today?
I was subpoenaed to come testify.
Do you recall by whom?
By the...
See, here we go again. What do you guys remember from the last 50 interrogations from Darrell Brooks? He's going to ask, who are you subpoenaed by? Oh, you don't know? Oh, you don't know? Oh, it's because you can't be subpoenaed by someone who's not in... Wait, what was it? You can't be subpoenaed by an entity. You have to be subpoenaed by a human or some stupid shit like that. Your boy is out here tweaking. But I'm sure that's where he's going. Whenever he comes to this subpoena question, you know you're getting to the end of the Darrell Brooks interrogation.
What would you say? Just by this... Not the state, but the city of Waukesha, or the town of Waukesha.
District Attorney's Office, officer, or?
Just when I received the subpoena letter, it was just from Waukesha. What's it called? Not really. I don't recall any name specifically on the letter, but I just remembered I was being subpoenaed by the city of Waukesha.
Do you recall when you received that subpoena?
Maybe about like a month before, or maybe 2 months before this happened, or
before today. You mean?
I wouldn't say exactly before today, but maybe before the trial, sometime in August.
The neighbor who's, as we saw in the photos in the exhibit, there was a neighbor whose car had scrapes. Do you recall if they filed any claim in regards to the scrapes?
See, he's like, so who filed the claim? Oh, so the neighbor didn't file the claim? Oh, so you didn't file a claim for being injured? Nobody filed a claim, huh? Well, that means, should I even be charged? That's not how it works, bro. I'm here to tell you that's not how it works. Your boy is going to jail. I swear to God. He keeps going to these little side curves. Now that they have him driving through back alleyways and destroying his car next to people's houses, now he's trying to go the route to say that, oh, okay, well, nobody really charged me. An entity can't charge me. What is the state of what's the city of Waukesha? What is that? That's...
In regards to the scrapes, no, just because they weren't actually there. I think they were actually at the parade, and since all of Maple was kind of shut down as soon as the police showed up, I think they had trouble getting in or getting to their house. So they got there late as soon as everything was cleared up,
and they didn't see it.
And the day after, they were able to see the damage to their vehicle, and they were able to sort of, after that whole situation, they sort of knew what had happened, and they probably figured that the damage that was caused was probably from the vehicle that was in the parade. So I don't think filing a claim was probably their main concern at the moment because, yeah.
Do you recall having any conversations with the owner of the vehicle at some point? Maybe they may have wanted to ask if anyone heard what had transpired. Do you recall having any conversations with him about what happened that night?
Objection, hearsay.
Grounds.
Well, the way that he asked it is just did they have conversations? I'll let the witness answer that specific question without disclosing the content first. Did you have any conversations?
After it was the day after the incident that I talked to the neighbor.
And hearsay is specifically like, you talk to the neighbor, and what did they say they saw? You're already getting evidence from one person. So it's like one person squared. It's like you can't ask this person for evidence and what that other person told you. Hearsay is basically gossip. That's hearsay. You can't, if you want to know what that person said to him, you would have to ask him what he said to that person. Then you would have to get that person and ask that person what they said to him. That's how I understand how hearsay works. So he's really, he's dabbling on the edge of hearsay.
Was anyone else present in your home the night of the incident that may have seen anything to your recollection?
Not necessarily. Like I said, our neighbors were downstairs, and I had to contact them to let them know what was going on. I told, like I said, my little brother was there, but he has autism, so he's in his own world. And my mom was also in the building, and then she was sort of confused as to what was going on because I had to go tell her, like, hey, like someone caused damage to our cars, like let's go.
Yeah, a crazy man rampaged through the yard, Mom, and apparently he might be the cause of this parade, but yeah, there's some shit fucked up in the backyard. Crazy way to start the night off, huh?
So let's go see what happened, and what's it called? As soon as I did that, everybody was aware. But yeah,
Was your family vehicles damaged?
Our vehicles, no.
Yeah, so that was pretty much the Brooks cross-examination of your boy. He sort of, kind of, almost, pretty much, sort of, kind of saw what happened. So he was a pretty decent witness. All I could say is decent. I give him a C+. He passed. He was obviously nervous. There's a lot of things on his mind, but come on, bro. This is like a year later. Like, get it together. My brother. But anyways, people, I love you guys, man. Sorry I've been absent for the past couple days. New studio, new moving, all that stuff. Been hectic, but we are back as much as possible. But by the end of November, I'm locked in. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay inside, stay safe. I love you guys, man. I'm out of here.